Laurel wasn't the only victim. Her African-American father found dozens of buried complaints all silenced by the same family.
After 20 years in the Navy, I thought I'd seen it all. But no enemy, no mission, no battlefield ever hit me as hard as the phone call I got from my daughter, Laurel. She's always been the strong, calm one in our family, so hearing her voice break, hearing her cry, it was a fear I'd never known. She told me her gymnastics coach, Pierre Schmidt, had touched her in a way no coach ever should. She did everything right. She went to the principal, but the principal was Pierre's brother Lon. He didn't just dismiss her. He mocked her, told her to keep her mouth shut. A cold, quiet fury filled me. I promised her I'd be home immediately. I landed before the sun came up the next morning. My wife, Serena, was racked with guilt, feeling like she'd failed our little girl. I held her and told her none of this was her fault. The blame belonged to one person and one person only. Laurel, brave as ever, sat down and wrote out every single detail she could remember. The strange comments from the coach that started weeks ago? The other girls on the team who always seemed so tense and nervous around him. It hit me then. This wasn't a one-time thing. This was a pattern. This was a predator. I knew I couldn't fight this alone. I called my team, the guys I trusted with my life. We started digging into the Schmidt family, and the dirt came up fast. The coach, Pierre, had similar accusations at his last school. The principal, Lon, had a history of burying complaints to protect his brother. And their father, Leslie Schmidt, had his money and influence woven through every part of that town. It was a web of corruption, designed to protect the guilty and silence the innocent. Rumors started to surface, whispers that more girls had been hurt. Laurel, showing a courage I could only admire, reached out to two of her teammates. Josie answered first. She confirmed our worst fears. She had been assaulted too. That's why she'd quit the team, why she told everyone she'd lost interest in gymnastics. Her mom had tried to report it, but the complaint went nowhere. As Josie told her story, the tears she'd held back for so long finally fell. Then none spoke up. She described months of grooming that led to a recent assault. Her mother had filed a police report, but it stalled, vanished into thin air with no explanation. My team found out why. The detective on the case had been taking bribes. The entire system, the school, the police, the money, it was all rigged to protect a monster. The anger I felt turned into something else. A deep, cold determination. This wasn't just about my daughter anymore. I became obsessed with gathering evidence. My tech expert on the team unearthed a goldmine, emails between the Schmidt brothers, casually discussing how to handle the troublemakers. We found financial records, money transfers to silence other families who had tried to speak out. We even got our hands on security footage from the school. The way Pierre behaved around the girls, it was sickening. I forced myself to watch only what was absolutely necessary to build the case. With a mountain of proof, I was ready. It was time to dismantle their empire, piece by piece. My first stop was Leslie Schmidt, the patriarch. I found him in his sprawling office, a man who oozed power and arrogance. He tried to intimidate me, to brush me off like I was nothing. But then I started laying out the files, the emails, the bank statements, the sworn affidavits from other families. I watched the confidence drain from his face, replaced by a flicker of pure panic. Next, I went to the school. I walked right into Lon's office and dropped the same evidence on his desk. He tried to deny it, to play dumb, but the proof was undeniable. His composure shattered. He admitted his brother, Pierre, had skipped town that morning. He was running. But you can't outrun a team of Navy specialists. My guys tracked him to a dingy motel 2 states over. I didn't go in with anger. I went in with calm, quiet authority. Pierre opened the door, and he was already shaking. I told him running would only make it worse. He had a choice: spend his life looking over his shoulder or face what he'd done. He completely broke down, sobbing, and agreed to confess everything. I handed him over to state troopers I knew were clean. By that afternoon, his brother Lon was in cuffs too. I went back to see Leslie one last time. He tried to spin it, to defend his sons, even dared to insult the girls they had hurt. I didn't raise my voice. I just shut him down with the cold, hard truth. The police took him away. For a moment, it felt like it was over. But then a judge let Leslie post bail. The system he'd corrupted gave him one last gift. He vanished. My team tracked him to a private airfield. A jet was fueled and ready to take him to a country with no extradition treaty. He was making a run for it. He almost jumped out of his skin when I walked into the hangar. I told him, "You're not going anywhere." He started babbling, trying to justify his actions, blaming everyone but himself. I wasn't listening. Just then, federal agents swarmed the hangar. Running from bail is a federal offense. They took him away, and this time there was no escape. The real danger was finally gone. The months that followed were filled with trials. Pierre got a long sentence for his crimes. Lon was convicted for covering them up. The dirty detective went to prison. As the truth came out, more girls found the courage to come forward, and their voices were finally heard. Laurel started therapy and joined support groups. I was there with her every step of the way, and with every verdict I saw her grow stronger. The Schmidt family's name became synonymous with disgrace, their influence in the town crumbling to dust. I eventually went back to my work, but that fight changed me forever. Laurel found her calling, not in gymnastics, but in advocacy, helping other survivors find their voice. I've never been prouder of her. She turned her pain into power. Her courage is a beacon for so many others, and it taught me a lesson I'll carry for the rest of my days. When you fight for your family, when you refuse to let evil win, the truth will always find a way. Thanks for watching. If you or someone you know needs support, please reach out to the resources in the description below. Your voice matters. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of justice.